Welcome, everyone, to a Friday episode of the Call Sheet Daily Podcast here at the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Kevin Smith. Friday means the hot route. Conversations about sports and life with the best prognosticator on the damn internet, the Pez man from Pez's Picks. What's up, Pez?
How could I have a better introduction? Thank you, Coach. Appreciate
I'll be your
it.
hype man. Let me be your hype man.
Hey, Snoop Dogg had the best in the biz. Maybe we get this going. We'll take a national tour. Maybe we got to get on stage. Maybe we're holding back here in these little studios in our upstairs attics and wherever we're going to be. We need to get on the road, Coach. We need to do some live shots from a casino, maybe Chicky and Pete's Philly. I'm going to talk to that CEO of ours and get the corporate bus rolling and get us moving here.
I love it, man. Show on the road sounds like a great thing, but for the moment, we're grounded. But there's lots to talk about. This is an exciting week in football because by the time you get to week 4 of the NFL, week 4 of college, you're starting to get a little bit of an idea about who's who, right? Who's for real? Who's probably looking to head to the 2026 draft already? And it also gives us an opportunity to talk about our first international game. So we're going to get into a bunch of different subjects. Let's start with that. Pittsburgh and Minnesota hopping across the pond to play in Ireland. This is all an opportunity for the NFL to grow its brand. It's been doing international games for about a decade now. The NFL's hit Mexico. They've hit Brazil. They've hit a couple different spots in Europe, Ireland, England, Germany. I guess my question to you, Pez, is two things. Let's start with this. One, do you like does the NFL in Ireland, does that feel like a good match for you? And then two, as the NFL continues to expand, where would you like to see him go next? Where would you love to see NFL football internationally? Let's start with Ireland. What do you think about that match?
I've been to my home country on my mom's side, Coach, Ireland. Great place, a lot of open space. They need NFL games. Quiet country, Coach. They bet on horses. They do a lot of drinking, and everybody has a job. But it seems very quiet there. I love the NFL in Dublin. I love this expansion. I've been to China as well, and I saw what the NBA did in that country. It's changing lives over there, and the kids couldn't be more. The kids are more excited about the NBA in China than they are in the United States. So I love it. I think it helps the game. It expands the game to grow. The NFL is the best run professional sport in the world. In the world, without a doubt, it's the most legitimate, the most honored, honest. Do people maybe cheat a little bit? I think it's the least in the NFL. And I think they treat the players better now than they used to, safety-wise, pay-wise. I don't think there's a better run sport. I love watching these games. I wish it was on this Disney Plus. I'd like to see Toy Story and Buzz Lightyear playing like last year, Coach. I don't know. I can't wait for 9:30. There's nothing better in the gambling world for football than to have 3 games to bet on Sunday. Or 4 games, I should say. We got a morning game, early game, afternoon, and the night game. I mean, this is Christmas come early for a gambler in September.
Gambler's delight, no doubt. When I was in Germany a couple summers ago, the German citizens, when just striking up conversation with people, would ask, what do you do? I told them I was a football coach. They couldn't get enough of American football. I mean, it seems to be a wonderful fit in Germany. It's funny, we were in Italy before we were in Germany. I mean, they could care less. The Italians had, they were all outside, walking around, smoking cigarettes, playing soccer, looking hot. I mean, they had zero interest whatsoever in football. But you crossed over the Alps, you got into Germany, and they couldn't get enough of it. And I remember some of those games that have been played in Germany the last couple of years. The crowds have been unbelievable. The enthusiasm's been through the roof. And you're right, man. The NFL, they so know how to market themselves. They know how to make a buck. There's no doubt about that. Where would you like to see them expand next? What might be another great destination?
I love Ireland is a huge handball country, Coach, which is this weird kind of version of soccer, rugby, and kind of European handball. So I think football to them, and I'm sure in Germany they play this kind of weird thing we don't play here too, handball, but I think it's a good connection. They can connect with it. It's a sport country. They drink beer. They eat buffalo wings, and fish and chips and stuff like that, so they can get behind a sport like football. I, I don't know if Ireland's a fit though. That is a huge commute. I don't think any team that was home based in Ireland could ever win a Super Bowl. I've done that flight. It's probably 6 hours. You get the time. That is a brutal commute, especially if you're going to play San Francisco or something. I think it's got to be Canada or Mexico for my money. I would love Mexico City, Coach. I love that country. Mexico, talk about a fun place, the food, the culture. People know how to get behind sports. Canada, it's worked for the NBA and baseball. I don't know, maybe Iceland. How about we get an Icelandic NFL team? Now we're talking, right? I mean, is there anything cooler than that? I believe 90+% of Icelandic people believe in gnomes, and I do too. So let's go Icelandic gnomes. Let's call Roger Goodell tonight or shoot him an email, whatever we do, text. I think that's a winner right there.
I got a name, the Reykjavik Rockets. Let's go.
Now we're talking.
The Reykjavik Rockets. That's a great name right there, man. I think that the NFL is serious about exploring the notion of a permanent franchise in an international country. But you're right, the logistics, that becomes the challenge. Could you do it in England? Maybe. You could certainly do it in Canada if you wanted to. The Canadians have their own football league. I don't know if there's an interest there on their part. Mexico City would be phenomenal, but unfortunately you also have a significant crime issue to think about, the protection and safety of the players.
So does Detroit, Coach. We're playing there. I mean, come on.
I'll pick on the good people of Detroit. That city's on the comeback, Detroit. Let's go.
I think so. In Ireland, though, it's an odd European country. They're not as huge a soccer country as England and a lot of these other European countries. It's got a feel to it. I compared it to Kentucky. Very passionate sports people, very hardworking. I landed in Dublin with my wife when I went over there and a couple of her relatives, a couple of cousins. We walked into a bar in Dublin. I don't know why, Coach. I had a maroon shirt on from the plane. This is right off the plane. I don't even like maroon. But anyway, I walked in. I got a Guinness. So they know you buy a Guinness in Ireland, you're a tourist. These people drink Budweiser. They're real Americans over there. I'm standing there, and I go to sit down, and I look over. Some guy's giving me the biz. He's in my face. I'm like, what the hell? Does this guy think I'm Irish, descendant? I'm like, yo, man, I'm from America. I'm the wrong guy. And he kind of got a little closer. I looked in the back of the room. Everybody's wearing orange on the screen. They're playing a maroon. It was the Dublin Handball Championship. I looked at him. I said, pardon me. I just took my shirt off, Coach. I went full jersey. The guy hugged me. I think he kissed me. He bought me another Guinness. This is the kind of fan that we need for an NFL football team. Maybe Dublin could work, but could you have an NFL team that did not play west of the Mississippi in the regular season? I don't know if that would be an unfair advantage or not. They'd probably have to. Right, California to Dublin's got to be 12 hours? I don't know if that's a fair commute. But then again, it's the NFL. I think they can make it work. Maybe you give them 2 luxury jets, let these guys sleep on the plane. I think they can figure it out. I'll say Dublin. Maybe it's possible. College games have been played there. Maybe they're looking at something there, and they need a little boost in the economy. Those Irish people, good people.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on it happening anytime soon, if ever. But I do think that the NFL, if they think that they can pull it off and make it sound from a travel and competition standpoint, that they would do it. What would be a great country? Now, you can't do it. There's no way you could do it. But a great country to have football, even if you just go there for a game, an international game, would be Australia. Because the Australians, I mean, my gosh, you watch rugby, Australian rules football. If ever there was a culture that was built to enjoy American football, it feels like it's the Australians. But man, you're going to fly halfway to the moon to get to Australia. So the logistics of that would be tough.
My cousin lives there, Coach, and I don't know if I'm going to make that ride. That's a long plane ride. Now I got to have to go. I don't think I have the cabbage to go first class. You got to lay down on that flight. I've done 15, 16-hour flights. Anything over that, I think you're either into some sort of a torture situation. I agree with you. Great people. They punch you a lot in Australia. I don't know if you know this. They punch people so much when they throw people out of bars, they had to go to rubber sidewalks to walk into every bar in the cities in Sydney and in Melbourne. So when you walk in, you're walking on a bouncy house because people were dying. These people, they punch you and they think it's funny. They're lunatic people, good lunatics. Crocodile Dundee, still a hero of mine. one of the all-time underrated movies, Coach. I hope you saw that one. I know you're not a Karate Kid guy. I hope you saw Crocodile Dundee.
I did see Crocodile Dundee,
Proud of
and
you. Proud of
unfortunately,
you.
like you, my cultural references for Australia probably stop with Crocodile Dundee. I don't know if I've updated myself culturally on Australia since the 80s. But yeah, that would be a great spot. Let's shift the conversation a little bit here. We got another really interesting international event happening right now. That is, of course, the Ryder Cup, a love of yours. And I know you're heavily invested in it. And I guess my question to you is this, and feel free to talk about the Ryder Cup if you want, but golf's a perfect sport to have an international showdown, U.S. versus Europe or versus pick a country, whatever. Are there any other sports where you'd really like to see this? You kind of have a World Baseball Classic that goes on. You don't really have one in basketball other than the Olympics because America generally dominates. But I mean, is golf the perfect sport matchup wise to have an international showdown like this?
In a way, I think it is. The Americans, I mean, we have such a big country. That's a good equal contest right there. And, golf created over there in England and Scotland. So they've got roots in the sport, and it's growing over there. We're seeing guys from the northern Scandinavian countries, this Aberg guy, I like to call him, great player. You get guys out of Germany now. There's a guy on the team. Spain. I mean, there's a culture of golf. I love watching. Coach, we bet on everything. We like betting on the DP World Tour, the European Tour. You can get up at 7 in the morning on Sunday, get the juices flowing, lay some action on that. They play a tournament in South Africa. It's fantastic. You get to see tigers and stuff. But I think basketball, you're onto something. I kind of think in the All-Star game, they might have done something like this, the international team against the American team, this past one. Shocking that the All-Star game has become such a sham. We don't watch the NBA All-Star game. But I think that would be a good tournament, right? The United States versus Europe. I think they'd give us a run for our money. I think that's a good game. You'd have Doncic, you'd have Joker on the European team. Giannis, I guess he qualifies as European, right? I mean, he's French guy, right? Or is he Canadian? I'm not sure. But
Greece. He's from
Greece. Okay,
Greece.
we'll take that,
Yeah.
Coach. That's Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
Throw a couple Germans in there, and I think we have a good tournament there. We have a good back and forth. Maybe you play 3 days of pickup. I don't know. Maybe a dunk contest. Now, all right, let's copyright that. Anybody out there, we're copyrighting that right now. That's FFSN property, Coach. That's a hot root property right there.
International dunk contest. I mean, the Europeans play a totally different brand of basketball. It's much more team oriented. They move the ball more. It's not the NBA clear out and let's go one-on-one. And sometimes that does cause problems for American teams because it's something they're not used to. I mean, I guess you can probably do it in just about every sport, and you are doing it in many. You have obviously the World Cup. That's probably the most famous. The only one you really can't do it in is football because there's just not a culture that plays American football. I remember, they still do it actually, but they were, I got asked to coach. I wasn't able to do it, but I got asked to help coach the American Division III All-Star team that was being sent to Japan to play the Japanese national team. So it was Division III kids. Basically, a bunch of kids from small colleges in America, 21 and 22-year-olds, going over to Japan to play that entire country's best football team that they could possibly put together. And the Division III American All-Star team beat them like 50-6. I mean, that just gives you an idea about like how far ahead. Now, that was a while ago, but it gives you an idea about how far ahead we are in the United States. So I guess football is the only one that you can't do it in. Who's going to win the Ryder Cup, Pez?
I don't know if we want to go here, Coach, because I've got concerns.
Okay.
I'm terrified. The European team, they smoked us 2 years ago. Scotty Scheffler cried, Coach. And, Jeff Hartman gets upset. I bring it up. That's this guy's hero. I don't know why he doesn't like me talking about it. The guy cried. You can't cry at the Ryder Cup. Okay, if you win, you can cry. Scotty Scheffler, a 500 player in the Ryder Cup. Tiger Woods had some issues with this. Phil Mickelson, I think to be the champion, the best golfer in the world, a tough thing to then turn on to be a team player, right? And I'm not saying Scheffler's not a loyal guy or a team guy, but it's a mentality. You're like a prize fighter. And I think the best Americans struggle then to kind of turn that off. They're not hitting every shot. Europeans are returning 11 out of 12 players. They won here. It's rare to win. They won in 2012 here. They come in and, as they say in Europe, a little bit better form. The thing that bugs me the most, Keegan Bradley. I keep seeing it. I'm watching this golf channel. He's currently 13th in the world. About a month ago, he was 11th in the world. He's not playing. When you lose a top 12 guy, a top 11 guy in the world, when you're playing 12 on 12. So this guy was top 50%. I'm going to argue he's the top 5 American. He's a loyal Vermont dude. He decided it wouldn't be right to put himself on as a pick. 6 get on automatically. The next 6 are picks. Even though he was in that top 6, the next 6 he was in, he decided not to go with himself. This course, he went to St. John's. Keegan Bradley's a friend of Michael Jordan, Coach. So Michael Jordan goes to every Ryder Cup. Keegan Bradley should be on every Ryder Cup. This guy's an animal. He played at St. John's. They used to sneak on the Beth page. I heard him talk about this. He knows the course like the back of his hand. He's a Vermont guy, a New York guy. I don't think, even aside from Scheffler, Keegan Bradley might have been the best player to have on this team, and he's not playing. He talked about it today. He goes, God, now I wish I was playing. We all do. I think in this Ryder Cup, one guy could determine an outcome. I think a Keegan is a 2 to 3 point guy. First team. Well, all Europe has to do is get to 14 points, and I believe they hold on to it. That's not a lot of points when you're playing, for about 8 points a day, and on the last day everybody plays for 1 point head-on-head. So I'm worried, Coach. And the odds, there's no value in betting America. You're laying 170 to 100 across the pond. The Europeans are now the favorite on a lot of the betting parlors over there because, you're getting more action over there. I'd say that the Europeans have the advantage in Pez's Picks playbook right now. We're not betting the team. We got a couple prop plays, though, like you like doing in the NFL here.
It's a perfect segue. Perfect segue. Let's get to some of my prop picks, etc.
How'd we do last week?
Yeah, we went 1 and 2, Pez. We went 1 and 2.
That's not bad.
Nah, here, but you made a good point. You said, Coach, I don't like prop bets because there are so many variables that go into whether a guy's going to, get 56 and a half rushing yards or more. So I hit on Kareem Hunt. I hit the over on him. I was under on Jared Goff. I mean, man, the Lions offense was awesome, but they ran the ball down Baltimore's throats. I thought that they'd be able to throw it on him. But then I bet the over on CeeDee Lamb on his receiving yards, and he goes out in the first quarter with an ankle injury. So there you go. I mean, that's your point, right? That the unknown could sink this thing that on paper, CeeDee Lamb and the over looks great, but there's too many variables. That's your argument essentially, right?
Well, that, and I would never bet money on any Dallas Cockroach, especially CeeDee Lamb. Can we talk about a more selfish guy? I watched that game. He was running around with his sock off. This guy's not playing hurt, Coach. I don't think anybody should play real hurt, but you got to play a little hurt. If you're injured, sit down. This guy was doing laps. He's not going to put in a full. You can't bet the Dallas Cockroaches, Coach. I felt like pulling you back last week. We won't put a nickel on that team. That is the most selfish, mismanaged team in the NFL. I'll put money on Carolina, before I put on Dallas. But I agree with you. There is a reason Vegas wins 5 times more money on prop and exotics than they do on straight-up bets. I mean, straight-up bets, you have a 50-50 chance. Once you throw in a player prop, God knows what's going to go on. I'm sure the Lions saw, what you saw, that people thought they'd throw against Baltimore. Their secondary has been a little weak. I couldn't believe how well they ran that ball. I couldn't believe that game, right? That game was fantastic. We've had some amazing early season games, and the thing I think most about, I learned a lot, the Ravens are not that good on defense anymore. What happened? What happened to Ray Lewis? What happened to that scary feeling when you played Baltimore? I think they're average at best, maybe worse.
No, you're right. They don't have the front 7. They got some dudes in the secondary. But when you look at, especially like Madwabike, that's a tough name for me, but he didn't play. He's their best defensive lineman, and Detroit really took advantage of that. So I think you'll like a couple of my thoughts for this week.
Well, one thing, Coach, not to interrupt you. When a team has good players in the secondary, which I know they do, but they have a weak front line, you can do anything to that team. Because you can throw the ball because the quarterback's got time. Any NFL quarterback, if you give them time, I don't care who's playing except for Deion Sanders, you should be able to hit guys downfield, right? And we see that with Jalen Hurts. We see that with Aaron Rodgers. So I think when a team has a weak defensive line, that you never bet that team. You can't put money on them. They can't stop the run, and they're probably not going to be able to stop the pass. Any NFL quarterback, you give them 3 or more seconds, maybe 4 seconds in the pocket, I think you get out there and you could throw for 200 yards against Ravens, Coach. I think you got that gun still on you.
I mean, maybe I might be able to. I think one hit though, and I'd be in trouble. But still, whatever.
They're not going to hit you. We'll protect you.
You give me a one-day, $1 million deal, I'm down. All right, so here we go. Ready? You said don't ever pick the as you call them, the Dallas Cockroaches. So I got three thoughts this week. One, I love Green Bay -5.5 over Dallas because I think Green Bay is going to be in a big bounce back mode after losing to the Cleveland Browns. And Micah Parsons going back to Jerry World, I think is going to have that Green Bay team lit up. I actually expect the Cowboy fans to welcome him back because he wasn't the villain in all of that. I mean, Jerry Jones was the guy who butchered that situation. And I expect Parsons to come home to a pretty friendly reception. And I expect that Green Bay team to be at its very best in that game. They're given 5.5 to Dallas in Dallas. I know that's a lot for a road team, but what do you think about that?
I'm seeing 7.
You got 7? Yeah. Uh-oh. You there?
You got me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
The recording stopped.
No, it's good. It's still going. Oh, it stopped on your end?
Hold on 1 sec.
Huh.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Mine was saying recording stopped. My timer started over.
Oh, Jesus. It's good on my end.
All right, we're good then.
Yeah, I'll just make a note to tell those guys. All right, here. So you were saying you're seeing 7 points.
I'm seeing 7 points, and to me, I got to think of things differently. I'm not touching the game. I think Green Bay looks a little too easy. I've got bad feelings about this game, to be quite honest with you. Should Green Bay win? Are they the better team? Absolutely. But we talked about it week 1. We took Green Bay against the Lions. They appeared to be killing that team. I think at halftime they were up a pretty decent amount, or 7-3. I think Green Bay's got some things in their offense that just aren't clicking. They're a team that seems to struggle. It reminds me of an Andy Reid offense, not to attack Big Andy because I love the guy, but his offenses at times just stunk. They had trouble moving the ball. I don't know what it is about Love. Maybe they figured him out a little bit. Dallas, I hate him, Coach, but they can score points. I mean, Dak, you give him time, that guy can get hot. I don't think Mike is going to be a big part of this game. I really don't. It is tough for a player like him to go back to his team. They know what to do to him, right? They know this guy better than anybody. The Philadelphia Eagles never let Michael Parsons beat him. I mean, he was a guy that they figured out how to kind of take out of the game. I would stay away from that game. I mean, that's just from a gambling standpoint. That to me is a danger game. Primetime games, everybody plays hard. Even the Dallas Cockroaches play hard on primetime games. These guys step it up a level. On the road, Green Bay, I don't know. I think 7 points, I would take the points if I had to bet it. But I hope you win. We're not playing it, but I hope you win.
You're killing me, man. You tell me, come on. You tell me how much the Cockroaches stink, and now you tell me not to bet against them. Then you're not going to like my next bet, which is my one of my 2 props, which is Jordan Love over 230.5 passing yards. I mean, he's been over that routinely in his career, and the Cowboys gave up 450 passing yards to Russell Wilson, and then they gave up 298 yards passing last week. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't exactly prime Patrick Mahomes. So I mean, it just feels like Dallas can still play the run a little bit, but man, I think Green Bay opens up the offense.
Dallas is allowing 300 passing yards a game. They're the worst in the league. They were the worst in the league last year. So this bet seems sensible to me, But having said that, everybody, the coaches know these stats too, right? I wonder, is Green Bay going to go in and just tick the clock and pound that ball down their throat all night? That's what I would do. I wouldn't give Jordan Love. I wouldn't even let Dak on that field. I'd try to limit his possessions and offensive possessions to maybe 8 or 9 for the game, which if you tick that clock and run the ball, Green Bay, great running back. I think, and Jacobs a little banged up, but I think he's playing. I'm pretty sure. I know he's got a little injury, a little ding. I don't know. This is why prop plays for us are very difficult in the gambling world. You look at everything, right? I'm a poker player and a chess player. I'm trying to think of 3 moves ahead. So I try to think like a coach. If I'm Green Bay, I know they had a tough game last week. I'm going to take the pressure off and run the ball. What's it, 235 yards?
230.5.
So what you're going to really need here is a little bit of a close game, right? I mean, if it's a blowout by halftime, forget about it. They might yank that dude. So
right.
That's possible because I think Dallas shows up a little more than people think. Okay. I think this for Dallas is a pride game. The primetime games, Coach, are tough to bet because you get a max effort in a primetime game. When you're playing, in Indianapolis at 1 o'clock, your effort might not be there. You're not on national TV. Well, maybe this year are because that's a good team again. But Carolina at 1 o'clock, you ain't on national TV. When you're playing 8:20 on whatever channel we're on, NBC Sunday night. Forget about it. These guys max effort. So I think Dallas shows up. I like your play there. I think Jordan Love gets that done.
All right, beautiful. I just want you to agree with me. That's it. Even if you lie to me, Pez. All right, last one. Josh Allen over 26.5 rushing yards against the New Orleans Saints. Saints gave up 38 rushing yards last week to Kyler Murray. Josh Allen's averaging almost 50 rushing yards per game for his NFL career. You got to figure Buffalo will handle New Orleans pretty well. Maybe they get Allen some design runs early on, some scramble yards, and then take their foot off the gas in the second half. Over 26.5 rushing yards, Josh Allen.
Perhaps, right? All you need there is one play, right? Now we're betting on one play.
Let's go.
Having said that, I think if that happens, I'd be pissed off at Josh Allen. This guy should not be running the ball against the Saints. They're not an NFL team. They don't even have a good college quarterback on their roster. This Rattler guy, this guy is not an NFL quarterback. Who goes into an NFL season without one quarterback? They forfeited this year before it happened. They should get relegated. This is when English League Soccer knows what they're doing. This team should be relegated. Jameis Winston should be starting on this team. They could have had Pickett's. They could have had Carson Wentz, even this bum that we're going to be playing against, and I bet against him this week because I hate him. But Rattler, Coach, he's not a quarterback. You're a better thrower than this kid. So my point being, Josh Allen, if I'm coaching him, you take a knee instead of running the ball. You cannot. The only thing that could happen for Buffalo, it would be bad if someone injured. They're going to win this game. I didn't bet it. I don't like betting 3-score spreads, Coach. They're given. I think the line opened at 16.5. 3-score spreads are a lot because I don't think Josh Allen's in that game in the fourth quarter. He better not be. This is at home. New Orleans, dome team going out. I don't know. Maybe you get lucky, Coach. You need to get lucky. Maybe one long run and they pull that guy. I'm pulling for you.
Just give me hope. That's all, man. Now, in all seriousness, you know why I like the prop bets? It's all in fun. But for me, it's really a good opportunity to look at schemes, the matchups that I like, the X and O's I like to dig into, and it gives you something to root for. I think that's why people like it, right? Because, hey, maybe it's a blowout game, but you're still rooting for, come on, Josh, I need 3 more yards. You're in there rooting till the end. This is another reason why the NFL is the most popular sport in America. They give you so many different angles to approach a game.
That's fantasy football took over this country, right? I mean, It expanded the fan base. We brought women into the sport, and I think that's a great thing. Everybody's got a fantasy team. Now you can bet on your fantasy guy. And to be honest with you, this is Vegas learning how to make money, right? I mean, these are sports books. They know these bets are tough. And they're just putting averages out based on, whatever it might be. Defensive gives up, player usually averages. So I think that, they know. I mean, they're going to win more than they lose on these bets. There isn't as much analytics that go into, devising these bets. And, one guy gets hurt, you can still cover the team spread. You're not covering your prop play. It's fun. I'll give you that. But it Pez's Picks, Coach. This is a business for us. We're not here to have fun. We're here to win money. We don't even want to have fun. In fact, we want to not have fun, but we want to win money. I like the prop plays. I think you're better off taking totals, though, maybe, right? And, in a scheme situation, we talked about this a little last week. We had a lean, which we're going to explain. We've explained to the crowd. Our official plays hit every box we're checking. A lean, a couple or one less. Eagles, Rams over. I had a good feeling. They're not going to let Jalen and AJ go the whole season without airing the ball out. And what do you know? This guy goes out second half and lights it up again like the Super Bowl. So I think that's a little bit more of a reasonable play than a prop play. But I'm with you. I hope you win these, Coach. And the kids love these prop plays. I know. Pez's Picks. Maybe we need to get into this. We'll expand the betting base a little bit. Maybe.
All right. Well, I love it. It's going to be interesting. And as always, Pez, great conversation. Appreciate your time and your insight and your thoughts, man. I loved doing the show with you, my man.
Love talking with you too, my friend, and enjoy this Ryder Cup. Starting tomorrow at 7:10 a.m., we got Shambo and Thomas versus John Rahm and I think Tommy Fleetwood. This is a heavyweight golf match tomorrow. Shambo going to hit off that first tee. That crowd's going to go. This guy's going to smash it 350 yards. He might kill someone. That might Happy Gilmore that ball somewhere. I can't wait, Coach. I love that Ryder Cup. You got action to bet on all day, all night for 3 straight days. What else is there to do in America? Let's have some fun. Let's everybody calm down, have some fun, right? Let's get back to this country being happy and having fun.
God bless America, Pez.
That's right, brother.
All right, that's our Hot Route conversation for Friday here at the Call Sheet Daily Podcast. For Pez, this is Coach Kevin Smith. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll catch you on Monday. Take care.